Today on Nathan and Landon Do Business, it's all about belly touching with a sprinkle of Coca-Cola and consent.
Always consensual belly touching.
Do 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 do. Always ask permission. Welcome everybody to Nathan and Landon Do Business. It's a business podcast where we talk about all things business. I am Landon, and with me is the one, the only, the incontrovertible ostrich rider Nathan.
I do love riding those ostriches.
Now, Nathan, correct me if I'm wrong, and I assume you know you can validate this. Was there an episode of Lassie in which Timmy rode an ostrich?
Absolutely, there was. He was my
Okay,
inspiration. That's what got me
good.
into the game.
That's what I thought. I assume that was the case. I just needed you to connect those dots for me. What is the most dangerous thing people, what is the most dangerous thing people don't know about ostrich riding, Nathan?
Well, I assume people are familiar with the standard dangers of ostrich riding,
Of course.
but what you don't ever expect is falling in love.
They are the most romantic of birds.
Yeah,
As far as raptors go, they're the most amorous.
yeah,
I was about to try and make a play on words for sticking your head in the sand, but it got way too gross, way too quick. So
yeah.
you're welcome. Um, yeah, Nathan, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, just doing great, man. I've had a really great week this past week thinking about ways we can mobilize Coca-Cola drinkers to touch pregnant women's bellies. Got all kinds of weird, Nathan.
Yeah, I found it somewhat tricky to connect the dots in a satisfying way. Sometimes the closest or the shortest distance between 2 points is a circle.
Yes.
That's the direction I took.
Yeah. Yeah, me too a little bit. I mean, it just could be that I the ideas I have don't make sense. Maybe it could be I'm descending deeper and deeper into psychosis. I found it oddly simple. Straight line.
Yeah, I had to invent out of whole cloth some extra parts to this pitch. So
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, let's go with me first because I feel like mine's the most straight down the middle. I'm going to be straight up with you. The My whole thing is influencers by themselves just don't make sense anyways. Influencer behavior to me is outright baffling. And so
yeah,
to me, this just seemed like something logical that an influencer might do as normal garbage people who stream their behavior on the internet.
that's fair.
So yeah. And also I feel like I need to give you a brief introduction. As you did, I'm sure. You used AI to help you, right? Because I sure did.
It's our good buddy Derek.
Derek, yeah. So I was trying to get it to make ideas for me. But it was really resistant to it. And so I had to integrate consent through everything. And so let me read something for you. So I wanted it to make a hashtag campaign on social media to get people to touch pregnant women's bellies. And I said, okay, assume consent is part of this. So this is the concept here is called moments of connection. Encourage sharing joy and anticipation of pregnancy with close friends and family through a respectful, loving gesture, underlining it with touch the bump. The creative execution is consent first videos. Create a series of videos that show influencers asking for permission before touching a pregnant woman's belly, highlighting the importance of consent, followed by joyful, respectful interactions with the Coca-Cola toast. That's a normal thing that a normal human being would do, right?
Yeah,
Moments of, so like I kind of just took that and ran with it. Just these moments of consent. Um,
yeah. I guess it's somewhat comforting that AI recognizes that it's inappropriate to just touch random women's bellies, but it made it very difficult to generate images. So
yeah, yeah, exactly. But it was funny how like the second I said like no consent's involved, we're like, okay, sure, why not? Let's
yeah,
do whatever. Like as you'll see in the images that follow. And
Yeah, you'll
so
see in some
again,
of my images, people are way too excited about it because I did emphasize how happy these women were to have their bellies touched.
that's great. Well, mine gets all kinds of weird, but this is the prize, Nathan, is well, let me ask you, you want to live like an influencer, right?
It's my main dream.
Yeah, you want to own things like mansions, Coca-Cola, some kind of R2D2 thing, and possibly an ostrich. And we have a robot butler over there on the side. You'd like all those things, I imagine. Well, guess what? Now you can by participating in the Touch the Bump challenge, in which we're combining the thrill of consent with the allure of the opulent influencer lifestyle. So the challenge is simple. You picture yourself asking for permission to touch a pregnant woman's belly for a chance to win influencer level prizes, clout, and possibly Riz. Take a chance, get consent, touch the bump.
I like possibly Riz.
The only reason I put that is because I'm still not certain what Riz is. So I think it's charisma. But I don't know. So, Gen Z, roast me in the comments.
I
So
like that
here is
the
the
gullwing
first
doors
proof.
of that car appear to be coming out of the robot butlers.
Well, they're wings, I think. He's ready to take flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, get that Jake Paul level lifestyle. Planes and helicopters everywhere. You're gonna feel great. You're gonna love yourself. There's no way that you will fall asleep with a seething white hot self-hatred. It just won't happen.
Yeah.
So here's a first picture of the touch the bone proof of concept. Here we have a lovely couple horseback riding with a man asking for permission to touch her belly, and she is, providing consent. And so the caption here is adventure awaits, but some connections sadly strong. Great.
Perfect. No notes.
Here we have a couple at a carnival finding quiet moments together at the craziest places. Hashtag Coca-Cola. Here we have a man asking for permission to touch the pregnant woman's belly at a county fair. What could possibly go wrong? Monster truck rally.
Nice.
I was trying to make it so it was on the Jumbotron, and everyone in the crowd was cheering that this man was touching the bump. Couldn't get it together. So
You
these are
mean
exciting
the
play.
jumbo grand?
The jumbo grand. Yeah, which is what I call my obese grandmother. Here we have a woman getting her belly touched at the office. New
Yeah.
beginnings at work. So I, I do appreciate the double-handed belly bump. So again, this is just to give people ideas on where they can ask for consent to touch the bump.
Yeah.
And of course,
That's the advanced
Coca-Cola.
technique is the double hander.
Exactly. Well, it's heavy, isn't it? Yes, it is. There's a living being in there. Spring Break. The only reason I like this one, it didn't get it quite right because, there's a man with three arms back there in the background, and the man is clearly not touching the woman's belly, but he is
Yeah.
giving the two in the pink, one in the stink hand gesture, which I appreciate.
Yeah. Gotta flash that in all of your pictures.
Exactly. Because it's 2006 and your baby is ashamed of this. As soon as that came out, I was like, no, no, it's perfect. All right.
It's so powerful it escapes the bounds of the picture on Instagram and becomes integrated into the UI.
Exactly. It breaks everything. But you know what? You don't have to limit your touching the bump to festive occasions. You can do it at a funeral. Why not? What better place to celebrate the life of someone than to commemorate the commemoration of their passing? Um, or at a war memorial. Why not? You can do this anywhere. Uh, or at church.
Sure.
So,
And with little tiny bottles of Coca-Cola in your hand.
yeah, my favorite part
It's
of
like,
this image composition are the Wes Anderson pants that man has.
yeah.
Um,
I assume it's like some sort of sacrament of Coca-Cola they're partaking of. Just a
yeah,
little tiny bottle.
yeah, it's been blessed. When you
Yeah.
drink it, it turns into the blood of Christ.
Yeah.
Transubstantiation with deliciousness.
Yeah.
Um, and that's everything. That's everything that I prepared. Do you have any favorites? I think this one's mine. Like the World War I memorial with that giant woman.
Yeah, it's like French GI and an Amazonian woman that is offering up her belly to be touched.
This is the best one.
Yeah,
I like it has the poppy there. It has the bottle of Coca-Cola behind it.
yeah.
Oh, that's very good.
That's a
Very
perfect
good.
image. That's a magazine print right there.
Yeah. And I feel compelled to show you some of my other experiments that didn't make the final cut. So I fired up Mid-Journey just to see what that would do. Things got really realistic really quick. So let me show you what the monster truck rally image looked like. It was deeply unsettling. So this one ceased to be funny. It
Yeah.
wasn't nearly abstract enough.
Create an image for an image.
And this just looks like a regular Instagram photograph. This one turned out okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Spring break. That lady's fingers are terrifying.
yeah.
So, but the main one that I needed to show you was this. All right, that's enough. I hope I met your expectations, Nathan.
You did. You actually filled out a portion of the presentation that I completely neglected, which is what the hashtags would be and how the social media influencers would use said influence to get bellies touched. So
Go to
that
World
slots in
War
nicely.
Go to World War I memorials and
Yeah,
just hang out.
perfect.
Oh, I need to give you permission to share your screen, don't I?
I would appreciate that.
There you go. It's all you, buddy.
All right, so I went on a bit of a journey here.
I laugh every time.
So at the end of our last episode, you raised what was a good point, which was what's in it for Coca-Cola. And
No,
so,
I did not even address that.
well, that's fine because I did. So,
Okay.
so that's where I had to go on a bit of a walk to try to connect these dots.
All right, perfect.
So this presentation I prepared um, to address the Coca-Cola executives directly. So, as you guys know, this is Corky Cola, the president's CEO down at the Coca-Cola HQ. And so he's a whimsical fellow prone to merry japes and wholesome abuse of Oompa Loompas. But here's one thing I bet you didn't know. Corky is dying.
Oh no. Oh no. Corky. I only knew about your existence a few minutes ago.
I know. I assume he has like some sort of like a rare case of mega gonorrhea, and every day he inches closer and closer to death. So,
He seems in pretty high spirits though, as does his nurse.
well, I mean, he's a merry little elf. So, yeah, the nurse is happy to see him gone. So just the other day, Landon and I were hanging out at the bar, and Corky approached us with an idea, a
Ooh.
wonderful idea, a rootin' tootin' highfalutin idea. Um, and so based on this idea, we kind of brainstormed and we came up with this plan that we assume will be well compensated for. So here in a nutshell is our plan. Um, Step one, we distribute a limited edition free Coca-Cola to pregnant women,
Ooh. Okay,
like
go on.
presumably under the guise of like helping baby grow or some nonsense, right? Um, I assume like Big Pharma can help control distribution of that through OBGYN offices. So
Of
with
course.
Dr. Doctorson.
Dr. Docterson's office.
Um, and so once they've been distributed, 5 lucky winners are chosen from amongst the pregnant women population via bottle cap distribution.
That's a huge bottle.
Well, she's a big Coke fan, so
Or maybe she's very tiny.
it could be. But once these five winners are chosen, that's where we need Coca-Cola to use their crack team of investigators to find out everything about these women, all their deepest, darkest secrets, things they don't want anyone to know. And then they set off a worldwide hunt for these women, utilizing our elite cadre of social media influencers
Oh,
to create a viral marketing campaign. This is where your touch the bump comes in, because the
oh.
goal is to touch the pregnant women's bellies.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
This appears to be some sort of fever dream with how excited they are. Just their faces
Jeez,
get so distorted.
you'll never catch me.
Yeah.
I like
And so
it.
the catch, the way this ties back to Coca-Cola is you get the clues by buying more Coke. And so that's going to increase profits by approximately 4 billion%. So
Of
that's what's in
course.
it for Coca-Cola is money. But that's not all that's in it for Coca-Cola, because once people have found these pregnant women and touched their bellies, they're going to bring these pregnant women back to Coca-Cola HQ. And there at Coca-Cola headquarters, Corky gets the sweetest fruit of them all, touching all their pregnant bellies at once. I assume this is like a sex thing. I don't know.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah,
Is this like the Immortan Joe backstory?
it could be. So Corky then will whatever step we're on, 5. He's going to take these women on a tour of the factory where ironic consequences befall them,
Of course.
and like bonus points if the woman's parents and in-laws all live in the same bed. So at the end of the tour, the last woman standing is crowned Mother of Cola, and her child is deemed to be the next reincarnation of Corky, not unlike the Buddha. And this ensures that Corky will live on, albeit in a much smaller, weaker body. So here's what we need from Coke to get this plant off the ground. Like one, a bunch of like bottle caps and sugar water.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume they know how to do that, right? Uh, two, a bunch of social media influencers that are willing to debase themselves for a few bucks.
Mhm.
All of them. And of course, we need that corporate blimp. This is non-negotiable and it will not be returned.
I can't stop laughing about the reincarnation of Corky.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of that one.
It's like he's he's born and immediately put in this massive suit.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll grow into it, son.
I actually do have an image of wearing a baby-sized suit that looks similar, but it's much better to have it in the giant suit,
I like that his name is Colin.
apparently.
This this all comes together, Nathan. There's no logic gap in this at all. This is
Yeah.
perfectly architected. This is airtight.
Yeah, foolproof.
No notes, A plus.
Questions?
How's how's Corky doing today?
Well, he's at death's door, so we gotta move on this.
We gotta hurry. We gotta find his heir apparent.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. It's like I mean if so like usually our next step on these kind of things is to send an email pitching someone. It almost feels like we need to give the folks at Coca heads up on like an FYI, like this is what we're doing with Corky.
Yeah. They need to
They,
know.
they might need to be brought up to speed on this. Less of a here's the resources we need and more of this is what Corky demands of you.
Yeah. They're probably used to that though, because I'm sure he has all sorts of crazy demands. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we
I'm
gotta
sure he's got an
let the
ostrich of his
Oompa
own over
Loompas
there.
know.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. No, hey Nathan, that is really beautiful work. I really appreciate what you've
It's
done for me
something.
today. Yeah, it is incredible. Um, yeah, no, it feels like our next best step is just to write the Coca-Cola Corporation an email. Our revolutionary, groundbreaking, picture including email, broken out in bulleted list.
All the best emails. That's what people are saying. I hear it a lot on social media these days. All the best emails have
They got pic
pictures, chapter headings, and bulleted lists.
Yeah. Yeah. I need an email with pictures. I don't respond to an email unless it's got pictures in it. Um, okay, well, let's do that. Um, I'm gonna do some research, Nathan, on the correct person that we should inform on this, because it feels like we need to be selective. Because this is
Yeah.
important. This is Corky.
Yeah.
This is Corky at stake. We got one bite at this apple.
Yeah. Obviously, Corky's at the top of that corporate hierarchy, but he's not like a hands-on manager. Like he doesn't handle the day-to-day business. So we need to find someone who can execute this plan.
Yes, I love it. Okay. All right, I'm gonna get on that, Nathan. But as always, really beautiful work. I couldn't be happier. Anything else?
And to Derek as well.
Yeah, Derek, great job. You're not gonna get in trouble for any of this. I reassure you. We will take all the heat. We won't. Um, anything else, Nathan, before I show you one more time the man who's doing the two in the pink and one in the stink?
There he is.
Anything else we want to cover today?
Um, Italy now. That's all I have.
Yes. We'll write Coca-Cola an email. Party on. That shocker thing. See you later. Talk to you soon. And